Okay, so what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at some examples of, first of all, the standard or the impartial journalistic style, the newspaper style. Then we're also going to look at a biased style and also a sensationalist style, which is probably what you often see in a lot of news stories, particularly if they're trying to beat up something as being more than maybe what it is. And what we're going to look at is we're going to look at a particular case study, and we're going to look at essentially how it can be embellished and how it can be written if you're reporting on it. So the story is, and I'll read it out. Monty and Jasper are two boys who had an argument in the schoolyard. Monty claims that the $2 coin that Jasper found was his, while Jasper claims that he simply found the coin lying in the grass. All right, very simple story, probably a very boring story. I don't think anyone would be really interested in hearing it. However, it can be made in such a way that people can be interested in hearing it. So let's just start with the standard impartial style, which is still a bit boring, but it's what a journalist should do, and it's written very succinctly, it's written very concisely, so this basically follows most of the principles. Two young boys were involved in a verbal altercation yesterday over who rightfully possessed a $2 coin. Okay, so it's using as few words as possible, and it's just simply getting straight to the point. There was a verbal argument or a verbal altercation about who possessed a $2 coin. Okay, so easy peasy, really. It just gets straight to the point. If I was to lean it one way or the other, so let's just lean it the first way, for instance, and you can guess which side this is leaning towards. A boy has allegedly stolen the lunch money of a child at a local primary school yesterday, with the victim left traumatised and distressed. Okay, still reporting on the facts, and yes, okay, there's a little bit of embellishment at the end there, but it's just leaning towards Monty at the moment. So it's leading towards the victim, and it's even calling him the victim, just to sort of highlight that he is a victim of an act, even though he may be just as guilty or not. And I mean, it still uses the word allegedly as well, which is to distance itself, so it's still trying to, but it's still accusing. It appears accusing, even though it has been written in such a way where they're saying, well, hang on, we didn't say that because we've allegedly said it, or someone has allegedly said that this has happened. So it is a shift towards the bias, or basically it's a biased opinion from one side. And if we were to turn it the other way, a boy has tried to declare ownership of a $2 coin yesterday despite widespread skepticism of his claims among school officials. Okay, there's a little bit of exaggeration there, but it then leans towards the other side. So just by changing a few facts around, and certainly by describing people in certain ways, you can get bias to occur, and certainly bias can appear within even in just a standard style of reporting. And it's just really it really uses sort of emotional terms like skepticism, for instance, and the other one that victim left traumatized and distressed. Again, reflects sort of a personal opinion, even though it's not directly stated as such. Finally, if we'll be sensationalist, and this is always the fun one, thievery and verbal arguments are rife within a local primary school, with two students reprimanded over an ugly dispute involving a $2 coin. Okay, so we've now gone completely for the over-the-top argument, and yet this happens a lot. And it takes one case and it blows it up to say that it's rife, that it happens all the time, because this is obviously a classic normal case of it happening, and ugly dispute. So you can use all sorts of words to embellish it and make it even seem more dramatic than what it is. It still is fairly concise, and this would be your opening line, which is usually the line that gets everyone interested, and people would see that line, they would think, oh wow, this is a really shocking and scandalous story, or must read on and find out what's actually happened here. And that's what gets people attention. So you can turn something as simple as this, which probably happens virtually every day, to something where it becomes almost national news. And that's essentially the art of what a newspaper writer does, and certainly you have to look at it critically and think really carefully, okay, what is it about this newspaper style that is making these facts turn into these facts?